Hey guys, welcome back to Theme Park Fantasy. This is Jace talking to you about the top 10 Animal Kingdom tips. So, today we're going to be heading over to the Animal Kingdom Park to explain to you the best top 10 tips that we know for getting around the park and having a good time there. Before we begin the video, please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a message from us. Alright, so our top 10 tips coming in at number 10 is look for the dragon at the front of the park. This is kind of a fun tip among insiders that know that this park was originally supposed to have another land that isn't there now. It was supposed to have a mythical beast land, and one of the figureheads would have been a dragon. At the front of the park, this is most prominent because you have the standard elephant, a triceratops, and then on the other side, it's another weird looking animal. That's because the last gate of the park is actually a dragon, which would have been the symbol for this mythical beast land. It's a fun little tip. It's kind of cool to look for when you go there. Alright, at number 9 we have Watch the Bird Show at the Tree of Life. I actually don't remember what this is called. I believe it's the Tropical Bird release, but essentially it's really cool because if you arrive at the right time of day when they do this, they release like all of the parrots from their bird enclosure. They fly right down through the literal walkways of the park and arrive at the Tree of Life. It's a really magnificent sight to see all of these really beautiful, colorful birds in flight. They fly right over your head, and then they land right at the Tree of Life, and they sit there until they're ordered back, and then they fly right back through the same path. It's a unique experience, and one that is really cool to see, especially if it's like your first time. Alright, now at number 8, we have It's Tough to Be a Bug has consistently short wait times. It's Tough to Be a Bug has a pretty large amphitheater. The ride itself is not super old, but it's kind of matured over time, and as such, it has consistently short wait times. It's rare for this to get up to 30 minutes. Usually it sits between 10 and 20, which makes it a good ride if you're just looking for some filler, or you need to occupy yourselves until you're like ready to make a lunch or dinner reservation. This is usually a good ride to pick. It's a really good ride. I wouldn't recommend it for super young viewers. If you have like super young kids, I would kind of just make sure they're okay with it because it's a very sensory ride. It has a lot of bugs. Spiders drop down from the ceiling. There's like a really funny feeling where like a hornet stings you from behind. It doesn't hurt or anything, but it's like a bump feeling with spraying air and stuff. And just make sure you're aware of that before you go into the ride. Alright, now at number 7 we have hit the safari in early morning or at dusk. Another ride to talk about. The safari is by far and away the crown jewel of Animal Kingdom. There are a lot of cool things here now, but by far and away the ability to go and see real life animals from Africa is still one of the best features of this park. In that in mind, the two best times you can go to see it are early morning or at dusk. The reason for this is during the day the animals are sleeping, and even the ones that don't sleep become lethargic because it's so hot during the day that they don't want to move around. So if you go in the early morning, they're either just like, kind of going to bed or getting their regular stuff done before they lounge around for the day, or at night they're waking up to go hunting and start, stuff like that. So yeah, I've gotten cool stuff during the day too, but the best times are either beginning of the day or the end of day for the best results. Number 6, Pandora is better at night. So the world of Pandora is this really cool technological marvel that they built there, basically recreating an entire alien world from a film in a theme park. It's really cool to look at. It's really in depth. The sounds, the sights, it really feels like you're on an alien world. But this world is better at night. And the hard part about this is that a lot of the videos that you see don't convey justice to it because the cameras have a hard time picking up on the luminescence that they use in this section of the park. Needless to say though, when you go in person, it glows and it's beautiful. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a park at night, and it's just a fantastic thing just to walk around in there and see like the giant floating mountains that glow purple or all of the plants that glow red or blues and stuff. It's a really unique experience and one that's worth taking the time out to do. Number 5, skip Tiffins and eat at the Nomad Lounge. I don't have anything personally against Tiffins. I mean, it has an okay menu, but the Nomad Lounge is just so much better and, usually consistently easier to get into. That having been said, I know that this lounge has gotten increasingly more popular over the years, and as such, it has gotten a longer wait time to get in there, but it is still very much worth the trip. It has its own little sub menu that you can get there. It has its full drinks menu, and then you can also usually order the appetizers from Tiffins as well. So like their famous bread service is something that you can get over at the bar as well. It's just a very fun place to hang out with your family if you're looking for a place to rest for some time, eat something, and then be on your way. It's a really nice restaurant experience and one that I highly recommend. Number 4. You can see an old Disney attraction from the bridge into the world of Pandora. So this is just another one of those fun insider tips. But the river that runs around the island, Discovery Island for Animal Kingdom, is a old Disney attraction. That river was actually originally designed to be a functioning attraction for the park that would have been kind of like the Jungle Cruise. Unfortunately, when the park opened, not very much time was applied to it, and not very much money was applied to it. Because of this, the ride didn't really take off, and they shelved it a few years later. But if you walk across the bridge into Pandora, one of the things you can see is the stone dragon that used to billow smoke and blow fire out on the water. It's actually kind of cool. If you look out on the right-hand side of the bridge as you're walking into Pandora, you can see it nestled against the bushes on the side of the river. It's a cool little experience and a fun fact to know when you go there. Alright, number 3, hit Kali River Rapids at the end of the day. Kali River Rapids is a really fun thrill ride. There's nothing really scary about it other than the occasional drop on it. The ride itself, though, is going to leave you soaked. It just is. Because of the way that the water is risen on the ride and it tips backwards, so when it falls into the water, you're going to get soaked. It splashes water all over you no matter really where you're sitting, and even if that doesn't get you, you go underneath a couple of elephant fountains at the end that douse you for good measure. So either way, you're going to be wet. I do not recommend walking around any Disney theme park if you're soaking wet, and Animal Kingdom, being one of the largest, is a really big stickler for that rule. So hit Kali River Rapids at the end of the day so you don't have very long in your wet clothing and you can just dry off back at your hotel room. Alright, number 2, keep an eye out for rare characters. I've seen characters in Animal Kingdom that you don't see anywhere else. I've seen like Tarzan and Jane. I've seen King Louie and Blue. There are a lot of rare characters here that are really cool to see, but are very hard to find. So just keep your eye out when you go to this park, because you should be able to see them, and keep an eye out for some nostalgic ones too. Alright, number 1. Animal Kingdom is a half-day park, but that's not a bad thing. Consistently, Animal Kingdom Park is always claimed to be the largest Disney park, and that is true, because it includes the Maharaja Jungle Trek and the Safari, and no other reason. In quite a fact, the amount of total rides that you can ride on it really aren't that many. Because of this, in mine and many other Disney Explorers' opinions that we've met over the years, think that Animal Kingdom is a half-day park. Usually you'll go here and then you might end up at Disney Springs, or you might just stay at your hotel room for the rest of the day. That's not a bad thing. Don't feel like you need to push yourselves and stay here to get the most out of the day. Do what you want to do there and then leave, because it is a very fun park, but it's just not one that seems to be catered or built very much to the idea of staying there consistently all day long. They have worked to amend that over the years, but I still don't think it's quite there yet. Alright, this has been Jace for Theme Park Fantasy. Please be sure to like and subscribe to make sure that you never miss a message from us and to help out the video. Alright, and we will see you next time you want to know more about Disney. Have a great day, guys.